Good morning. And I am Maria Quattrone with Be the Solution. I'm so excited today to have my friend Gaurav Gambhir on Be the Solution. Welcome, Gaurav.
Thank you for having me. Good morning.
I'm thrilled to have you on the show. And I've been following your journey in the real estate world since you entered it. So why don't you share with our guests how you got started and how you got to where you are now?
I don't know where I am, but it's been a very good journey for me. It's interesting how my journey started in real estate. And I'm an immigrant to the country, came here in 1997, and the idea was to be the best programmer this world has ever seen. Obviously, that didn't really work out well. 9/11 happened right when I was graduating, and that was the biggest challenge in anyone's career who was dedicated to technology. And I lost my job before I started right out of college. Got married to my high school sweetheart, and and thought I had a full career ahead of me, all planned out, and then everything went down the drain. Just like we're going through COVID this year, a lot of people have felt a big change in their careers, in their life, and their mindset. So I was 22 years old, felt that hit in my life, and decided I'm going to do something different. So I started a couple of entrepreneurial companies, an IT company, opened a retail teddy bear shop early in my career, learned that from the retail business, started importing stuff from China. That, like, how Build a Bear was, I created a concept called Create a Bear.
Yeah. How was that?
That was what a great learning curve. I loved it. I loved that whole experience. I ran it for about a year and a half, and then we sold the concept. I wanted to take it to the next level of opening a franchise, but it was too early in my career. Didn't have the financial support or backing, I should say, at that time. Didn't understand business as well. People were challenging to manage. So I decided I'm going to do something different. And I was already married. I had some financial obligations. So I got back into IT, and I started working with a company that specialized in real estate. So that was my fortunate coincidence that I entered into a company that was doing real estate. And then I just started learning from what they were doing. Started learning a lot of the details that they were into commercial real estate, industrial warehouses, shopping centers, apartment buildings. So that was my exposure. I started learning from them, got my license, thought one day when I need to buy my first home, I will have some savings so that and also can be ready for in my company if they have opportunities that may come up. So I just kept waiting and learning and learning and learning. I took actually all my broker's license classes before I did my first transaction.
Wow.
I was just educating myself. And when the time came in 2008, I decided I'm going to take a leap of faith. And market was doing wonderful. So I went and opened my first brokerage company, and 2 months later, market crashed. So I left a full-time job and then got myself into another downturn. And then it was too late to go back. So I said, I'm going to ride this cycle. And my dad said something very interesting. He said, Microsoft was started in a recession. If you build your fundamentals and the infrastructure now, use this time to build a strong base. And when you come out of this and your systems and processes are wonderful, you will see the uprise. And that's exactly what happened. I had the education. I got my systems and processes together in 2008. And then come 2009, we were rocking and moving with 70 agents in a brand new company. And then people who asked me questions, I knew every answer as a broker. I read every ethics complaint on the state's website. I read every chapter. I read every book. So I was ready for the education. And in 2010, I met my now business partner, Ben Aller. He had a company called the Condo Shop at that time. They were, I believe,
you and Ben meet?
Say that again?
How did you and Ben meet?
Through a common friend at a restaurant. They were, it was a Friday evening, having a couple of beers. I got invited to the party, and Ben and I met, and honestly, it was like love at first sight. We were supposed to be there for 30 minutes, and we ended up talking for 3 to 4 hours.
Yeah.
brainstorming, talking about different ideas. And I think we decided to have a meeting the following week to figure out how we can be in business with each other. And till today, I think he's the brother that is a brother from a different mother that
Another mother.
I love the guy. He's awesome. He's been my strength throughout. We fight like brothers, but he's the strength behind it.
Well, you got to have that, right? You can't have everybody being the yes person. It's like death of you.
You need that in your life. You need a yin and yang combination who can challenge you, who pushes you, and who disagrees with you. I like that.
Yeah, you coach each other.
100%. You need that partner in life, and I'm very fortunate to have that.
It's
And then,
with like your spouse.
and I've been I got married at 22 to my high school sweetheart, and so my first girlfriend of my life, and I was her first boyfriend in her life. So it's a puppy love. We've been together since '96, so we've been together for 24 years, married for almost 19 years now. We have a wonderful 7-year-old daughter. I'm blessed. When I look at everything else in life, these are the relationships that matter.
Yeah.
So,
sure. Go
ahead.
I think this year a lot of us have learned that now more than ever. Although we knew, but there's a lot of soul searching, I think. And I wake up every day and I pray. So I pray a lot, and I wake up every day and I say, thankful. What am I thankful and grateful? And at the end of the day, before we eat, what are we thankful and grateful for? And it's a little thing, but it means a lot.
It keeps you grounded. It reminds you of what's more important to you in life. I think we need to focus on ourselves so that we can help others as well. If you don't focus on yourself, it becomes challenging from within, and similar thoughts will come out where you're not the best that you can be to help someone else. So focus on yourself as well. And that's what I did in 2020. I lost about 15 pounds during COVID.
Good.
I've changed my lifestyle. I'm an early riser, early sleeper, workout.
Change with your lifestyle. You're an early sleeper. What time?
I was a 3 a.m. sleeper before.
I thought it was 1.
1 to 3 was my regular time.
Oh,
and now I'm in bed 9:30. But I'm up 5 o'clock every day. I work out. I did my routine this morning before I come to the office. I'm trying to be more consistent.
Are you working out do you have a home gym?
I live in a condo in the living room with a few dumbbells and headsets on, 45 minutes or whatever you can do.
Yeah, it does help 100% change your mindset. I agree with you. I mean, we have to focus on ourselves first. It's actually what I'm doing for January, February. I'm in like a 60-day challenge group, focusing on myself first, because if you're good, then you can help and lead others. And if you're not good, then you're not going to be good at leading others and what you need to do to accomplish. So
I agree.
What made you decide to do that?
One of my associates just basically reminded me that it was time I had to take care of my health, and she was taking care of her health every day for a long period of time, and I always made enough excuses. At one point, we just decide to do it, and that's what happened. I said, you know what, there was something I read someplace. It says, let me see what happens if I don't give up. I said, that's interesting. It's just interesting because for the last 40 years, every time I think about losing weight, I was like, well, I tried, but didn't work out. It's too much work. My schedule is challenging. I get hungry. I get cranky. Or my daughter is young and she brings sweets. Like I have all the reasons in the world. And then one day I just said, let's just see what happens if I don't give up. And lifestyle changed. So it's all in your mindset. And how strong your mindset is, and what are you doing to make it more stronger to change that routine that you have. And it's doable. So that's what changed, mindset.
It's all about that, whatever we want in life, right? It all has to happen here.
100%.
We could tell, garbage in, garbage out.
The GIGO concept. It's in the IT world, we call it the GIGO. GIGO, garbage in, garbage out, in a coding language. 100%. What you put in your mind is what you're going to get out.
Yeah, those TV shows that the people they're looking for the person that killed the dead person, and there's a murder series, or those crime shows. I cannot even put it on, like, even for a second. Dateline NBC, what is it, 2020? I don't know. Old shows. Before, I used to sometimes just put it on, like, I'll be clicking through 15 minutes Friday night. I'm like, let me see who they're looking for now. Now, I'm like, I cannot have anything that is not funny or happy.
That's great. If it's not helping your mindset or helping you achieve something, I think it's a waste of time. And time is the most valuable thing that you have. I'd rather spend some more time with my daughter, or a glass of wine with my wife for a show that she likes, because if she's enjoying it, I always enjoy. And yeah, I don't watch much news. I watch it once a day, once in the morning, once in the evening, so twice a day, just for 5 minutes to keep up. That's about it.
So we know what's going on, and we can talk about it if we need to talk about it, right?
Yeah, it's good to know.
Out.
I'm not interested in the gossip. It's just too much out there.
There's too much, for sure. So that's why we have Be the Solution. So
I love the concept. So Be the Solution. I love the idea. I've been watching and reading more of your podcast, seeing your journey come in the last few years as well. But this is a great thing that you're doing, and I appreciate and being honored to be here. That you considered me as one of the persons to be here.
Thank you so much, and absolutely, yes, you're doing great things in the community and Philadelphia real estate, and it's nice for you to share. And so there's a lot going on right now in our industry. And what do you see, Gaurav? What's your take? What do you think the pulse is for Philadelphia real estate?
So nobody has a crystal ball on what's going to happen. Obviously, you look at the information that you have in front of you. You look at the data, you look at the facts, you look at the average days on the market, you look at the monthly supply.
Yes.
You keep an eye on the interest rates. We keep a very close tab on how many leads are we generating, how many views are we getting on the listings, what is the average price that you're selling at from the listing price. So it's very important to know your numbers. And we spend a lot of time internally keeping track of them. And we can always get better. And we always feel, there's more information out there that we should be monitoring, and we are not. And that's what the drive is, to continue getting better. I think most of us in our real estate careers probably had one of the best third quarters of our life. And that's what happened to most of our other businesses as well, including our management, our luxury team, rental team, Condo Shop team, KW Philadelphia team, our title company. Everyone had one of the best quarters. And then we started seeing a little slowdown come, I think it's like latter part of October, early November. And I'm hoping that that doesn't stay as long as it has been slowing down. But it's also the election times, the COVID times. People are especially out of Center City. We are the Condo Shop team. So the condo market is a little more challenging than the home market, because people who are looking to rent in a condo building or in a high-rise building, they were used to pay for a lifestyle and the amenities. Well, you're not really using the swimming pool, the gym, the movie theater room, going up and down in the elevator, touching the same buttons. Too many people around you. Some people are not comfortable with that. I live in a high-rise. I'm perfectly fine. I enjoy it. I like the views. But others may not want to invest if they have a different opportunity. But then there are also people that are working from home and they need more space. So a 700 square feet, one-bedroom apartment for a couple with both of them working from home is a challenge. Then there are also people who are who are baby boomers or empty nesters who have a larger home, who are coming to the city for a lifestyle, restaurants, dining, theater. That's not available right now. So for them to move and being around more people during COVID, putting them at a health risk, that's a challenge. So I think the center city market, and then many of the places are still boarded up. Things are opening. It's wonderful to see more restaurants outside doing creative items. Things are opening up every day. Restaurant, the stores are open again, but there still was a feeling last quarter about some of the challenges before the elections. So Center City by itself, I think, is going to see an upswing from here onwards, because now the conversation is not about when would COVID if COVID would end. It's a matter of when that would be taken care of. So we see light at the end of the tunnel right now. But the suburbs and the outskirts of Philadelphia and the neighborhoods, our luxury team, new construction outside the Center City area, they're doing fantastic.
Yeah.
So the good thing is about diversification. So we are pretty diversified in our portfolio at this point, from the things that we own and from the things that we help rent and sell. The condo market has seen a hit, but our suburban market is doing great. So I think the interest rates still being low, the supply still being less. It's picking up because there's more units in the market now than we have seen last year. So I think things are going to get better in my mind. This fourth quarter was a challenging one, but it's going to get better.
Well, we can hope.
And are you seeing the same thing in your, because you're very active in a lot of investment sides and new construction. What do you see, Maria?
So I see a couple different things. I mean, no doubt the center city market is a challenge right now, especially the higher end of the market. So the neighborhoods seem to be holding a little bit stronger as further as you get out of center city. And I think that the investment world, warehouses, industrial strong, people buying large vacant land that they could build warehouses and things like that are strong. We sold a couple pieces like that. Luckily we do commercial real estate. So thankfully that's a decent market. I think that I'm concerned about multifamily buildings with hundreds of units that are going to come to the market. I see the smaller buildings not really renting, your triplexes and such, because at the price that they were, because you can get a better deal somewhere else. So if you're a one bedroom for $1,200 and you could be in a bigger one bedroom or a two bedroom for $1,400, it's almost twice the size. You could figure out a way to make that work, especially if you're working from home. You don't have the commuting costs, so you don't have the gas. You're not paying for parking or bridge tolls or whatever. That money then can get deployed back into your home because you're spending a lot of time there. Right. I think people want more space, whether they're in a one bedroom to a two bedroom to a 3 or 4 bedroom, or a 3 bedroom and a den, or a townhouse to a single family home. You see the properties, and I'm very, very active in studying, and pretty much I've learned the whole suburban market at this point, because I've been working on that all year. So I understand I can tell pretty quickly when something new hits a market. I mean, hits the market, if it's going to sell within the first week, or if it's going to sit, and based on their pricing of it. It's very interesting to watch that. Certain areas there's no inventory whatsoever. So
right, I heard you say it's like a beauty contest.
Yeah, price war and a beauty contest.
Yeah, I love that. I thought I'm going to use it again.
So if the house looks great and it's priced great, it's going to go. If it priced great and doesn't really look great, then it's questionable. If it's priced well and it's horrible, it's going to sell because it's an opportunity for somebody.
Right.
So it's like that middle of is kind of problematic.
I think the sellers are also thinking, I think they're realizing now in the fourth quarter as compared to the third quarter that anything will sell at any price. And there was an influx of people who couldn't buy and they had to buy or had to move From the second quarter, they got bundled up in the third quarter. So the demand became so high that people were settling for some options. I know a lot of people who decided not to buy it and wait for the future listings or supplies are going to come in the market because they didn't want to settle. And there are some people who said, well, I'll just rent it for 1 or 2 years and we'll figure it out after that, because right now the pain is too much for me not to make a move. And that was interesting. One question for you, Maria, and then I think we can talk about that a little bit as well. What do you think is going to happen in the future? Are more people going to want to go back to work and be around more people, or they would want to stay home? If you're a single person, just be in a room and just work. Is that the lifestyle that people would want, or they would want, as soon as COVID scare is done, they're going to come back to the office and around people?
I think it's going to take a while for some people to do that. I think that, I know people that, they're married with kids that they haven't seen no people. They haven't been, the moms are like, nope, we ain't going nowhere. We ain't doing nothing. And that's that. And the people in our cul-de-sac maybe we'll see them for 10 feet away. I think it's going to be a while before people are comfortable even with the vaccine. And I don't know that if it's not this pandemic, it'll be some other pandemic or epidemic that'll come. And then we have to be prepared for that. I think we have to be prepared for our businesses. I think that, the city, the problem is with the getting into the towers is the amount of time it would take for people to get into their offices on the 50th floor, 40th floor, because only so many people can go into an elevator at a time. And then coming down the same thing. It could take, I know, especially in some of the really big buildings in New York City, they were saying 2.5 hours up and down for the day, just going up and then coming down when you leave, right? So I think for our cities, it's going to be a change in the way that people live. Mm-hmm. Ultimately, look, the restaurants, there's no lunch business because there's no business people going to lunch.
Right.
I had one lunch in September. I took somebody to, I went twice. I went once in September, and I think I went once in October.
Okay.
And I don't know how many lunches you've been to, but those are the only two that I've been to since.
I went to one with a friend, and that was about it, with my wife and another friend that were part of a bubble.
For that lunch, but I'm talking about a business meeting. I did too.
Yeah, I think I did one, and we were hesitant, both of us, but we did it, trying to push the envelope, and then I didn't do it afterwards. After that.
So that's the point, is that the restaurants don't have any of that business at all, even when they were open.
Yeah. And this is what I think, though, what will happen in, let's say, a year from now. Okay, so 2021 might have been a hybrid in between. The earlier part of the first and second quarter of the year might be challenging, for what we're talking about. The third and fourth will start seeing some transition, in my mind, in the city.
I think that we should by then. Over a year from now.
Yeah.
I think it's changing the way people want to live, though. I think a lot of people want, they want to have a gym in their house, right? Or they want to have all the amenities that they can't have now. And I think some people are scared that if it happens again, they don't want to be sitting in a house with nothing going on, and I think we're in the middle of it, and it's being rewritten as we speak.
But also, we forgive and forget very fast. As human beings, we will. I think we won't forget what we went through, but we'll move past it much faster than we think we will. It's. I also think, why did people move to the city before? Why did I decide to raise a family in the city? Why do I live in a 2-bedroom condo for the last 15 years? It's a lifestyle. It's a convenience, the lifestyle, the restaurants. I can go to walk to Whole Foods. I can go for a run. I can go for a bike ride. I want to raise my daughter in the city. I think there's a city charm that I like, and I've always lived in a city all my life. So all those people who were moving from suburbs to the city, they came in for a reason. They were willing to give up something to get something. The unfortunate part right now is that that's something that attracted them. The lifestyle, the restaurants, the theater, the walkability, the shopping, the get-togethers, the parks. You can't really access that as much as you'd want to. So you have people who are moving out but I believe in about a year or more, that transition will actually happen once again. A lot of people who have moved out will realize I don't like going home and sitting when it's dark outside. I don't see anyone. I can walk to Whole Foods or to Starbucks or to La Colombe to get a cup of coffee. I have to go and drive to get a loaf of bread. I think there's a lifestyle that you have to get accustomed to when you're in suburbs. My parents live in suburbs. It's a vacation town for me when I go on the weekend.
Yeah.
But I can live there. There's
How
no
long have you lived in the center city?
since 90 since 97.
Okay, so I'm the same. I moved in town in '95. It's a long time.
It is. I
It's
seen the
a
city
long
change.
time. We've seen the city change, right? In year 2000, it was you would walk down the street and you wouldn't see any people.
That's correct. I didn't want to go to Center City when I was in the university area. During my college times, I went to Drexel. We never came to Center City for anything in the evenings. We all went to Old City. That was a hangout place.
We probably met then,
I probably spilled your drink at some place.
but I will digress. I won't go there.
That was a different
Wild times, Gaurav. Wild times.
Oh, I have some stories of in college drinking and stuff like that. After college, I should say. There's been some times, and actually, I don't think this stopped even until 3 years ago. Our team is wild. We do some serious partying at times.
No partying this Christmas, right? I heard your party last year was off the charts.
Yes. We had about 450 people in a holiday party. We did a fantastic 2 years in a row. We missed that party this year.
Yeah.
But just our team, Maria. I think people always ask me that, how come we are able to be with the team members, and what is the most what is the best thing about our team, or like how does a team grow together as an organization? I think it's the culture, and the culture gets built by spending time with each other. You can't really build culture as much on a Zoom call. It's just hard. It's different. It's not what we're used to. It's not what a human way of interacting naturally. And I think that we can adopt and adapt the different and new ways. But there are a lot of people who would want to go back and have those hugs and those handshakes and be around. Yeah, so
Me.
I'm in the office, and as soon as we were allowed to be in the office in June, I've been here every day. I wear a suit. I come to the office. We have different office locations in the city. I love my team.
You at the office on 2nd Street?
So I go to 2nd Street. That's our management company office space. I go to 15th and Locust. That's the Condo Shop office space. And then I come to 1619 Walnut. That is our KW Philadelphia office space.
That's a lot of offices to go to, Gaurav.
It's and then it all came down to time management, and it's on the calendar. I have specific days for each office. The team knows they expect me to be there, and I show up, and they don't expect me to be there on the other days because the other office is expecting me. But I'm connected. Technology has been wonderful. Our team is fantastic. So I think it's all about time management at that time.
So how do you do it?
2 phones.
So tell me, why do you need 2 phones? Show us why.
Interesting.
Idea, and I want to know why.
So when I started my career, I wanted to have myself. I wanted to be accessible. Even in 2005 and 2006, many people had office phone numbers. Google Voice numbers were very active. They were passing on those numbers to their office and leave me a voicemail. I thought that was not the right personalized way of doing business for me personally.
Mm-hmm.
As an agent, I wanted to be connected, and I loved text messaging at that time as well. And I said, well, cell phone number, call me. And I have an option of picking up the phone or not when I want to, but I'm connected if I need to be. That worked really well till I started building a team. And then I opened a brokerage company. And then the questions about the office, about listings for the agents. And if they could find, if I was the most accessible phone number as an owner of a company available out there, I got calls from people that, or messages that didn't really, well, I wasn't the right person to help them. It wasn't about bothering me, but I was not the right person. So I had to find a way how I can screen that information to somebody else. Most of the time when people reach out to you, even as an agent, it's not because they need to reach you. It's because they need to get the information, and you're the only one in the way to get to the information. So if I can find a way to get them through to the right person or the right information, they don't really need me. And that's a realization that I had. So I said, okay, so if I have to have my personal life, when my parents call me, my friends call me, my wife calls me, I need to identify that information separately. Then I need to identify my business information. Um, there could be Google Voice numbers that can come to the phone, but then I couldn't disconnect. For me to put my work phone down when I go for a run, or with my family, or if I'm on a vacation, or to forward a phone number to the team member, it wasn't possible for me. So I wanted to keep them separate. I started thinking about a bigger vision. In 2010, we only had 6 agents, but I knew I wanted to make it a bigger organization. And how would you scale it? So I couldn't be the bottleneck for us to scale. So I
Right.
had to get myself out.
You had the phone since then?
I have had 2 phones for almost 10 years now.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that makes sense. So you have one for personal, one for business, and when you don't want to, you're shutting off the business for a minute, for maybe, I don't know, how many minutes you get to do that a day?
I don't shut it off. I screen it when I need to.
Well, you should shut it off sometimes.
It is a challenge and a task in progress.
Well, Gaurav, that the magic happens when nothing's happening, right?
That is correct. I agree with you. That's why I'm taking the last 10 days off this year, and I'm going away.
Yes. Where are you going?
We are driving to Florida.
Oh,
We rented a house with a pool and on the bay, away from everybody, and we plan to cook at home and not go anywhere.
oh, that's fantastic.
Yeah, that's the plan.
I wish I was doing that.
I see everybody going to Florida, and the warmer weather is inviting us, and I didn't want to go on a flight, so we're driving.
That's a great idea. Which parts?
We're going to Cape Coral.
Oh.
Never been there. It'll be interesting. I hear good things about the west side of Florida, west coast. I've never been on that side.
It's beautiful. So that's one of the things that, we were talking a few minutes ago about people, and I don't think they're just moving out of Philadelphia, or I think they're moving out of Pennsylvania. I knew from my friend brokers in Florida that there are a lot of people coming from Pennsylvania, New York. They're getting a lot of calls. Not just calls, people are buying properties down there. Right. Because the way that the state is run here is not, a lot of people aren't really happy about it. So I'll just leave it at that.
I know what you're talking about, and I think it's a round robin fashion where people are going to Florida. There are a lot of people coming here from New York for similar reasons. It's what your value proposition is, and if that doesn't work for someone else, it will work for someone else.
Right. Musical chairs.
Musical chairs. There's a lot of value that our city offers, and I love this city. So I think the city is going to continue attracting a lot of people from outside as well.
I think we're going to see over the next, outside of our lifetime, like a renaissance of businesses happen. And there hasn't been a renaissance in 500 years, 600 years. But I think in conflicting times, there's opportunity for new businesses to develop and new ways to do business to come about. And at the end of it, I think it'll look different than it is. I don't think it's going to go back to the same. But I think that, Philadelphia is the birthplace of our nation.
Right.
I've lived my entire life here. I'm born and raised Philadelphian, so I obviously have a lot of passion for the city. I just think it's going to look different, though.
It may look different, but we have to.
That's not bad either.
It's not bad. So I think that's the point that's very important for us to make. It's what you make out of it. If you say, we will never get the same old good times. Then basically you're comparing the old ways of doing things as good ways and the new ways of doing things bad ways.
Right.
But that's not true.
Correct.
The new ways of doing things can be better ways of doing things. We just have to accept it and not hold on to something in the past because change is difficult. So if we move past that mindset just in our thought process, I accept this. This is wonderful. I can work from anywhere. I can, you and I can have a Zoom call. We can have podcasts. We can talk to the whole team. We had 95 people on our team meeting yesterday on a Zoom call. We couldn't. Sometimes it's hard to have 95 people in a room. There's no space available.
Yeah.
So those are good things.
I said to a dinner with some friends like a month or so ago. They came over. They're in our bubble. Anyway, I said, if I hear one more person complain about that 2020 sucks, you know what? We have this little thing here,
Uh-huh.
the internet. And right now, people could be watching us. My cousins in Italy could be watching us on Facebook Live or YouTube Live, right? And it's never been a better time to start a business, to be in business, to help other people in your community, because we are a global society and there's so much that you can do. I mean, I just saw this. You hear a master class?
Yes, I have. I was thinking about doing something, but I didn't end up not doing anything with it.
Listen to this, $15 a month.
Uh-huh.
There's 90 classes now. And if you buy it, so it's what, $180 right now. If you buy one, you can get one for somebody else.
Okay.
Let's go. So I was thinking, I'm like, where can you learn from these people for $15 a month? Right? You could take cooking classes, you can take language, business, community service. I mean, you name it. And these are the masters of the field.
I saw the rosters. Looks pretty impressive, actually.
Now that I brought it up, I'm going to do it because I can't for $15. $15.
Unbelievable. So there's so many things that you just said in the last few seconds. Think about, you said your family in Italy could be watching this. Imagine, now you can start selling things to people across the world.
Yeah.
There are investments that can be made in Philadelphia by you creating the opportunities, using media, using social media, technology, videos, that people are becoming more comfortable doing things across the world. Think about from the real estate perspective for the agents as well. You could actually be in contact with the clients over a Zoom call as compared to being on a phone call. So there's a better relationship to be built as well. We have adopted technology much faster in 2020 for 360-degree views, Matterport cameras, live videos, Facebook Lives, posting, high definition drone cameras. We were just shy of using it in the past, but that was a better way of selling. But we just decided not to because we could get away with that. And then in 2020, the COVID environment forced us to get away from our bad old habits to adapt to good new habits. I think so. Even from the team's perspectives, or larger teams or newer agents getting in the industry, I'm just talking about the real estate industry because I'm in it and talking about it every day, and so are you, that people need to understand they need to adapt new ways, and there's opportunities everywhere. There are people who had the best year of their lives in 2020. So when someone says this was a challenging year, I agree with you. This was a bad year, I don't agree with you. And so it's just a different way of running your businesses. Right. And diversify yourself. Don't just get stuck in one. If you were only selling condos in the city and that's all you did, I'm sure your business took a little hit. And if you're only selling suburban homes, don't be getting too excited if there is a transition from there to here. Learn to diversify.
Yeah. Well, I will say that it's always like you have to know when to zig and zag, right? Zigging and zagging and being open, being open to change and figuring out how to do things differently. So Gaurav, like you, I was a very out and about person.
Hmm.
Going to this meeting, that meeting, this lunch. I see at park.
I see all the time. Yep.
Okay. So now we don't have to, I don't want to say have to do that anymore, but we're not doing that anymore.
Right.
I've realized I've worked more this year because if you think about it, okay, we're out at the lunch and it takes me 15 minutes to walk over there if
Wow.
I'm walking normal. 15 minutes back, maybe 10 if I'm fast. And then the lunch is at least an hour, if not an hour and 15.
Right.
We're an hour and 45 in. Then you get back and you have to go to the restroom and you're doing this and then you're chatting with somebody for a minute and you get back on doing whatever your meetings, right?
2 hours are gone.
Okay, now I'm going to some other networking thingy and I get a breakfast or a dinner or a drink. And then I looked at the calendar. I go, what the heck was I doing?
But we all,
I enjoyed it.
right?
That was my work and that's what I enjoyed. So
Sure.
but I will say, because I'm not traveling, like my office is, I'm 5 blocks from my office. So when we're done, I will pack up myself and I'll walk down there. But I mean, I'm not commuting anywhere. I'm not going anywhere. I'm going 5 blocks and 5 blocks back. And then, I do go to the properties. Like yesterday I had 2 walkthroughs. On Monday I had 3 walkthroughs, 3, visits to new listings. So I mean, you're doing that, but I'm saying generally speaking, there's a lot of time that's been freed up. Time to do podcasts, time to do videos.
All right.
Do you in your meetings with your agents, do you talk about videos? There are a lot of people in the organization. I see some of them doing videos. Is that something that
Videos is the next thing, and videos is the way to grow your business. We actually launched a media department in our Keller Williams office space.
What is that about?
We have so our knowing that where media is going to be on social media platforms or just ways of marketing your properties, we want to bring that in the expertise in house, make it cheaper for our agents, subsidize the cost, make it cost effective, but also so much more convenient for them to use it. So we launched a media department within the company in Keller Williams. Our agents our agents are using them. It's a full-blown organization, competing with any other media company out there. And we work with a lot of the other media companies together to be able to expand our opportunities, and we offer that to our agents. So many people are taking advantage. Others, we are continuing to coach them and guide them to show how much more valuable it is. But I think more people are accepting it. And there's a shyness level to it. It's also because it's new. People just feel, I don't look good on video. I don't want to do videos. I don't think I personally wasn't very comfortable a long time ago. English is a second language. Every once in a while, I'll say some silly silly things in my vocabulary that I'll get made fun of. And at one point I said, I don't care. I just don't care. But I'm going to look at the positives more that brings to the plate than worrying about 1 or 2 negatives that may happen. It's
so
okay.
Everybody says that, by the way. I don't really like looking at myself on video. Nobody likes looking at, I haven't really met very many people that like looking at themselves. But I always say,
you look great. You should be happy on the video. You look great.
It's what you look like in real. That's what you look like. So accept it, people. Get over yourselves, right?
Right. I can't change how I look. I look in the mirror every day, and if I think I'm not fit, then I do work out. And if I think otherwise, I need to be happy in my skin, and I'm very comfortable in my skin right now. I'm very happy. It's okay. So I think so. Video is a big component, and that's the way to sell real estate. If somebody's sitting in, because the market has opened up, it's globalized market for us at this point. Could we have somebody sitting in China, India, or across the country in California buy an asset here? It was challenging because people say, I don't know what's out there. I can't see the competition. You might be great in showing your video, but I can't see the others. But if all of us started increasing the value proposition, if the bar is raised, then that becomes a new way of doing business. And I think that's what happened in 2020. Majority of the people who had listings had no option but to opt for the videos or the 360-degree Matterport camera or drone videos. And that allowed a lot of people to have the comfort level beyond just a look and feel of walking in the properties. Even in our other organizations, we are very active in the property management business. We manage about 3,500 units now in and around the city of Philadelphia. And even the high-rise buildings, condo associations, single family, a 3-bedroom, 1-bath in West Philadelphia, we were doing videos and Matterport camera everywhere. And that's how we stayed in business. And people were renting sight unseen. And we were surprised at times. Like, you just want to, like, you okay renting it? And that confidence level got boosted more and more just because we saw things actually materializing. If we would have never spent the time and energy in doing it, we would have never found out the options of what is working. In simple terms, we wouldn't have found out that we actually got lucky by working hard.
Isn't that what it's about?
Yeah.
The harder you work, the luckier you get.
It says it's hard to get lucky by sitting on a couch.
Right.
So you got to get outside and work.
Did you grow up as a child always being like motivated? Did you feel like you were always motivated? Like you wanted to do something? You wanted to do something to change the world? Did you have that feeling?
I wouldn't say I was always the guy who wanted to change the world, and I don't think still I am. There's
well, you are making a big difference, and you are changing the lives of your agents.
I think I didn't set out myself as I think when we started the conversation, I said I want to be the best programmer myself as an individual. I think when the vision grew and the opportunities grew, I had to redefine myself and ask myself, what do I want from my career? What do I want from the organization? And one thing is for sure that success to me, simply speaking, we can talk about passive income, we can talk about wealth, we can talk about delegating and leveraging, but success to many people will be, oh, how can I retire without having to work and being on an island? Like, that's simply speaking what people usually say. Being on the same thought process, I don't want to be alone on that island. I want to be with 100 people that helped me get on the island. So how can I help those 100 families and 100 people? And 100 is just a generic number that I'm using. It could be 1,000, it could be 1,000,000. But how do I help others around me so that we can all enjoy what I want to enjoy? Because they also have the same desires. So it became not just about me. It didn't become about me and Ben. It became about us. How do we create those opportunities? So that has been a big change in my mindset. I don't sell a lot of real estate personally. Our team does a lot of work. So, in the Keller Williams model, we call it as a sixth level business where, I'm involved, but I am not the day-to-day person to go out and do things. But I'm very involved. If how many leads, what's happening, financials, coaching, training, I'm very involved. But that's what I like. I don't have to, if our team is the best basketball team, I'm okay being the coach. I don't have to be on the courts shooting myself. Let them have the limelight. Let their name be on the listings. Let their name, their value go up because of their marketing. It's okay, but we are a team together. And with the different organizations, we have almost about 12 companies that we run today, and they're all individually successful. So that's surprising to me at times that we were able to create such a big organization. So we're not a group or a division anymore. We are a pretty big organization, and that brings its own challenges, especially in COVID during these times. So there's a difference between being an owner and a leader. Every business owner is not a good leader. And people think just because you're owner of a company, you're a leader of the company. You're not. And that's something that I am learning, how to be a good leader. How do I create opportunities for our team? How do I help them with their mindset? What opportunities can we create for them within the different groups of the companies that we have? How the people who love us and want to stay with us, how do we boost their opportunities? Because there's so many opportunities we can create, and there are some people who we feel might be the right fit for us now, but then they may not be for our long-term sustainability because their mindset is for short-term growth. Their mindset might be, I want to take shortcuts and get things done, which is even at the edge of my integrity. And we have those people that we have gone through in our businesses, as recent as very recently as well. But then there are also people who are loyal, also people who are hardworking and they want to build the company. What do we do for them? My focus is on them, and then screen that noise away. It's upsetting and frustrating for 3 days, but then 3 days of hard workout and sweating, you realize the pain that your body is going through, and your mind opens up and said, you know what, it's better now than before. And our team is going to continue to build 1% at a time. And interestingly, Gary always says, nothing is as good or as bad as it may seem today, and it will never stay forever. So I love that, that mindset, because people that want to be in business with us will stay, and we'll be very loyal to them and find opportunities. And people who are not, maybe we're not the right fit and move on. But raise the standards in the company. Either they'll match to that and raise the bar, or they will decide to go their own ways.
Yeah. Hire to the principles and standards of your company. Every time we don't stay within the principle and standards, it's a problem. And it's a big, big problem. It's something that I learned this year. I mean, and I do agree with you that sometimes certain people will go with you to a certain level, and then they can't go above that level anymore because their mindset.
So at this point, we are hiring, and our mindset is, for our organization, we need to hire for the end goal, not the short-term goal. And it is almost guaranteed. The ones that are the biggest pain today, and they don't see eye to eye in our culture and the growth, and it's all about them. And sometimes we make those financial decisions that it's okay, we're still working together, we'll figure things out, we both are making money together. I can probably go back in the last 10 years, and every one of them who has left, or we feel will actually end up leaving, it's probably going to happen and has happened. But the ones that have been totally involved with the culture, helped us grow, there is a win-win situation or conversation that we have. There's a give and take that we both do. There is a love and forgiveness on both sides. That culture is something that stays with us and has helped us grow. There's no way I can build 10, 11, 12 companies. We work very hard to build teams. And then the teams are the ones who are working day and night to build the companies. So what do we do for those team members? How do we help find those team members together? If I'm in the office and I'm working with my team every day and they're working with us and each other, I spend more time with them than I spend with my daughter. So I need to like and love them and enjoy working with them, so I don't go back home with a package and a mindset which I'm going to reflect that on my wife and daughter. So I need this whole ecosystem to work much better, as compared to figuring out that I just need an extra few $1,000s more, which has been incentivizing at times over the career. But then I learned from them that it's a very short thinking at that time. I need to think bigger and help people around us to think bigger. Nothing will be compromised on the basis of my integrity. My integrity and my ethics always will stay. Doesn't matter what money is on the line. And that will give me a balance.
Has to come first.
Yeah.
It's not optional.
And it's a track record. History doesn't repeat itself. It's people who do it. People repeat doing the same things that creates a history again. So it's so interesting that people say, once a cheater, always a cheater, or but I'm going to give him a second chance, or I'm going to give her a second chance. And sometimes it makes sense to give a second chance. But somebody who has lost their integrity, that's who they are. That's who they are. And you can't justify it in the name of it's good for me and my family, so I went and robbed a bank. No, that's not acceptable. And people do that. People just in the name of comfort and in the name of family, they'll want to have greed. It's going to catch up, and it's a. I believe in karma. I believe in what happens in this life will get will be fed back to me at some point. What I do is going to come around back to me as well, and I want to sleep better at night. I want to have a clear mindset and be happy. And I think that's a journey we all at some point start talking to ourselves. Am I happy? And this year has been interesting, right? A lot of people have been reflecting on their careers and their lives, and they're saying, "Are we happy?" Just like a lot of people having this movement in rentals and sales and investments, so is happening in careers. We have a wonderful person in our organization who decided to just pursue her career outside the field that she's working in today. So it's not like she's leaving the organization; she's leaving the business. She's like, "Well, I'm not happy doing what I'm doing because this was not my calling, and it made me realize that if not now, then when?" But before, I was just churning it year after year and paycheck after paycheck, and I was happy. It was like just going day and night. But this gave me a time to reflect on myself, and it's good that they're doing that. Otherwise, they'll reflect 10 years later when they have the time and will be unhappy of how their life was. So we promote that and help that as well.
Yeah, I think it's important, that people find their journeys, and that if they need some help to be released on their journey, that we release them on their journey, because it's better for them, even though it's better for us if they stay, because it's easier for us. It's not better. It's better for us if we help them.
100%.
I think you know what I'm saying. I think that's what I said might be confusing, but
I understand what you're saying. It's when you train someone for 2 years or 3 years and they said this is not for me, it's challenging to find a replacement in a 2-week period of time to do exactly what you have taught them for 3 years. But we know we need to figure out that if it's not today, it's going to be in the future, and it's not good for them because they're going to be unhappy, and that can have this ripple effect to others as well.
right, because that one thing that didn't get done, and it was an important thing, but it's a trickle down effect of it.
100%. Yeah, I agree.
One of the things I was thinking about the other day, because with all these different marketing and things we do, and for all businesses, right? It's not just real estate. Any business, you have 12 different organizations and on business lines, and so it's hard to figure out which one is working the best. And so the days of attribution are probably a little bit long gone. But one thing I was thinking about, because I have my budgets are done. They were done like whatever last month and for next year. And I'm thinking, okay, here's my marketing money, which is for a company a pretty hefty spend.
All right.
And I'm thinking, so what do we do with it? We have it earmarked for this, earmarked for that, earmarked for this. And we aren't at the point where we can just throw shit up on the wall and hope something sticks. Or beyond that, right? So I'm thinking, okay, so how many more years do I think I might be in the real estate industry, God willing, right? So I think about that number, 15, 20, 25, I don't know, but let's just call it 20.
Okay.
And I said, okay, so we got to play the long game. We have to play the long game, because I'm like 16 years in. I started in 04, whatever, how many years that? 16, almost 17.
Mm-hmm.
So playing the long game in business is sticking to the slow and steady wins the race, and that's across all avenues.
Maria, think about how much technology that. So I started my career in 2005 when I got my license, but I was still with an organization that was in real estate, and I went out by myself in 2008. Uh, but the way that we generated leads, people were walking into the offices on the weekend to the office of a real estate office and asking, can I find information? What do you have available? The amount of information available online wasn't as much, wasn't readily available. Then the IDX came by, companies like Zillow, Trulia, Realtor.com, our website, all those opportunities came by where we started using technology a little bit more. Today, it's not just about the information. It's about the service that you're going to provide, because everybody has access to that information. Before, we were the beholders of that information. And
Right.
sometimes that was our value proposition. That value proposition is gone. If you think people are going to call you just to find information, they may be the ones who didn't have the time or don't want to go online and get that information. What's the taxes? How much the condo fees? How many units in the building? When was this listed? What was the previous sales? That's all available online. So what is your value proposition that you have to do? And the way technology is going to work, there are people in the industry that are trying not to use technology to see how long can they not use technology before they retire. And technology is saying, how fast can I get you out of the business before you retire? So there's a challenge. And there are people who say, I don't need technology because I have never used technology and I still have been successful. Well, let's all think again. What are we all doing? Each individual agent at their career is different. But if you are in for the long game, things are moving very fast. If
Mhm.
you don't use technology today and you don't adapt that as a pioneer being in front of the business with your clients, you will be the ones who will be lagging behind at the tail. You need to be at the forefront. And it's a challenge. We have 500 agents in the company. I have 50 agents in my Condo Shop team. Some are adapting to it. And interestingly, you see that in their business. Then the ones that always have a reason not to adapt it, you see that it reflects in their business. Their simplest way of generating your business today is to go buy $300 worth of leads, 1,000 of them, so you don't have to work. That's the easiest way. But that's the most silliest way, because that is a non-sustainable business. It's not predictable. You're going to spend a ridiculous amount of money. It is not how you make money. The second best way of doing it is relationship building. You and I are on this call together because there's a relationship that we have developed in the last few years. You know a lot about me. I know a lot about you. Uh, if that wasn't there, I think it's a challenge for someone to come together for any conversation. How can you expect to sell somebody $500,000 worth of asset for them to believe in you if you have not stayed in touch with them for the last 1 year? They're not going to call you. 87% of the people will deal with the same agent that they have dealt once in their life. So 87% of the people will use the same agent. Only 13% of the people actually earn that right or the opportunity. The remaining 65 or 69, 7% of the people don't really get that opportunity because they're not in contact with them. That allows newer agents and other agents to be in that category. So isn't it easier if you spend 20 hours with someone in the past, showing them a rental or first-time home buyer or a sale or an investment, to stay in touch with them again? So say they have your number saved on your phone. You had coffees. You took them out for lunch. You showed them a place. They love you to death at that time. Hopefully, they love you to death. They didn't say, I don't want to talk to you ever again. And if that was already done, the basic infrastructure, the hard work was completed. Now, what can you do beyond that? And I think that has been a key reason for our success of growth of the organizations. The Condo Shop was the only company that me and Ben were involved in. Then some of those people started doing investments. They came to us and said, who can help us do property management? So we launched a property management company. Then they came to us and said, we can't find enough assets. Can you help us find those assets? Well, then they became an investment company. Then they said, well, who's going to do repairs and maintenance? The HVAC guys and the painter and the bathroom guy, plumbers are charging us too much money. So to make it a better organization, we started a renovations company. So we were growing, and then we started a rental division because there were a lot of rentals happening. Then we started a luxury division. Then we started a commercial division. We were growing because of a need more than a want, because we were trying to provide a one-stop shop as an easy solution in one place. And I also tell my clients, He said, you're making money in every aspect of the way. I said, because I'm working 10 times harder. The good thing is you have one neck to catch when there's an issue. You don't have to go running behind 10 people. So that, grew our organization in many ways over the period of years. But it was key dependency on those original relationships. So, and I think there's a huge room for us to grow even now. And one advice or one request I can make to everybody in our business is, please go build your database. Go contact everyone in the past that you have dealt with or you have worked with. Not once a year for Happy New Year, not on their birthdays as well. You got to increase the value, because trust me, there are other agents who are already reaching out to them through social media for Thanksgiving and for holidays and for Happy New Year. Your value proposition has to be more than just wishing them and being in front of them or expecting a call back. Your business will change. And then do the same thing that I did. What's the harm? Try it just to see it. What will happen if you did this? What will happen if you didn't quit? That'll be an interesting year for you. And 2021 should be that year for you.
I love it, Gaurav. I love it.
Wow.
Great advice. Great advice. And all they have to do is start with the video. They could be video. You could do that video. And right now, when I do my video, it's going to go out to the 15,000 people. Right? Happy holidays, Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Happy New Year. Yeah. Give people value. Educate them before they need to be educated. Don't just talk about real estate. Show them you. Show them authentic you.
People want to be in business with people that they like.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. And that's where your opportunity is.
Absolutely. Well, I thank you for your time today. You've been a great guest, and I wish you and your family a Merry Christmas. And I wish you and Ben and the team your continued success. It's great to have watched you over the years build your company. So
you are awesome. Thank you so much for having me here, and happy holidays to you and your family and to everyone who's listening. It's a privilege to be here. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye. Have a good day.